watching the debate on the House floor before they have a vote on a continuing resolution, a 45-day essentially stopgap, as they figure out a budget there. I want to go back to the Capitol, if we can, and talk to Julie Sirkin, because I know we're getting some new reporting in on some of the delay tactics that we've been hearing about as we're watching this debate play out there. Julie, talk to us.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on our ever-moving Capitol Hill text chain while I'm here looking at the House floor where Speaker McCarthy is currently on somewhere in the chamber. But Democrats are trying to delay and try to keep this vote open. You heard Jeffries talk on the floor for quite a while using his magic minute. You heard me say that they're huddling now trying to read this bill. Apparently, one of the Democratic members, Jamal Bowman, according to the House Administration Committee, also tried to pull a fire alarm in Cannon this morning. An investigation into why it was pulled is underway, according to the House admin, GOP Chair Brian Stile. But I got to tell you, if this is actually another delay tactic, of course, that is a fine, not only a fine, but he could be arrested by the Capitol Police for doing so. Again, we don't know why he did it, why this happened. I want to be very clear. We're out to his office to find out more information. But this is just really a really high-pressure, high-stakes situation for Republicans and Democrats as Democrats try to read this bill and figure out what's going on. Republicans try to put this clean 45-day extension on the floor before the government funding deadline tonight. And as you heard me say, Senate Republicans are waiting to see what the House does before moving ahead on anything on that side of the chamber. But to be clear, debate is still ongoing. You see right now on your screen Mark Molinaro of New York, a moderate Republican who's told me many times that this clean CR should have been put on the floor days ago, that this was an inevitable solution here. He, of course, was part of the moderate group of Republicans who have been trying to even work with Democrats to see how they can keep the government funded and open. But we're still in the same place we were when I talked to you a couple of moments ago as far as what's going to go forward here in this bill. Just to remind our viewers, this clean extension does include some disaster relief funding, but it is not new funding. It is not the Biden administration supplemental request for disaster relief money. That, I'm told, could move separately in addition to the FAA reauthorization, in addition to some flood insurance programs and other critical programs that expire at midnight tonight as well. So all of this still very fluid, a lot of moving parts. Senate Republicans so far, though, going along with the House Republicans lead here.
Talk to me quickly, Julie, while I have you on anything that we've heard from Congressman Matt Gaetz on a motion to vacate. I know that there were threats from Gaetz and other members, the far-right Republican Party, essentially saying if he presents a clean CR, they will go forward with a motion to vacate. Anything else on that?
Well, it could happen as soon as today. You heard McCarthy there sort of dismiss those calls. Gaetz told me earlier today he's huddling with members to find a path forward here. Clearly, they feel a little bit brushed off right now by Speaker McCarthy for all of this. In fairness, though, McCarthy has been taking their lead, trying to find a path forward, how to get a conservative measure to move across the floor, one with those border security provisions that fund the border wall. Of course, that would have been a non-starter in the Democratic-controlled Senate, but because on the third attempt yesterday, those hardliners voted against that conservative continuing resolution, something that McCarthy and his leadership team have been trying to make a point of all of this time. Now McCarthy, as he told me, has been left with no choice but to put a clean measure on the floor to keep the government open. And he told me and other reporters that he's more concerned about the American people at this moment than his job. We'll see what happens with Gaetz and the rest of them.
Joining me now is Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, Democrat from